Servants Association has rejected an offer from government for a 3% pensionable salary adjustment for public service employees on salary levels 1 to 12. It also offered the continuation of a cash gratuity of R1,000 until March next year. To find out the reasons why they've rejected this offer and what's to happen next is Jannie Oosthuizen, who is Chief Negotiator at PSA, who joins me now to explain their position. Good evening to you and welcome. It's been almost 2 weeks since you've said no to the offer. This follows a 3-week deadlock to achieve agreement. Remind our viewers, Jannie, why you believe this offer on the table is wholly unacceptable.
Thank you. Good evening to the listeners. Well, the main problem the concern that we have is the cash gratuity that will end on the 31st of March 2023. And that is a problem to us. The cash gratuity is actually R1,000 cash in the pocket. And if it's terminated on the 31st of March 2023, our members might be worse off giving the living costs that will rise and the people, our members will be without the R1,000 cash in the pocket. And that is the main reason, amongst others, that our members have rejected the offer.
So let me just understand then, Jannie, if there is a guarantee beyond March 2023 about the R1,000 gratuity, this 3% plus that guaranteed gratuity would be an offer you'd accept?
Well, it is an offer that we will then take back to our members to consider. But we are confident that our members will favorably consider if there is a protection clause to make sure that the cash gratuity will continue over and above the 31st of March 2023.
I want to just talk about, one of the other issues that you make an analogy to in responding to government's offer is the 5% increase that employees in some SOEs are getting. You're particularly aggrieved by that. Why?
Well, the main thing is, remember, if government employees only get 3%, we must also look into the bigger picture. We're talking about 1.2 million government employees vis-a-vis the SOEs, that is much lesser employees that is employed at that SOEs. So it is quite difficult for us then to accept a lesser offer than what the SOEs have received. But we do understand the financial crisis that government is currently in. But we also want to urge government to come to the party. The ball is in their court now, to play the ball and to decide whether there will be an agreement or whether we will have to revert into industrial action or not.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second, because you're asking the Public Service Coordinating Bargaining Council to convene an urgent meeting, failing which you say, as you've just said, now you will no longer tolerate the disrespect, and the possibility then of a full-blown strike is on the horizon. Just talk to us about what's likely to happen in the next immediate time period.
Well, we are confident that on Monday there is a special departmental coordinating bargaining council meeting being scheduled, and we are confident that government will come to the table and to see to better their offer, or to change the offer, to amend the offer in order for us to consider. If it is not amended, or there's no better offer on the table, well, then it is unfortunate that it might result in industrial action in the entire public service. But we are not yet there, and I think we are confident that we will be able to solicit a better offer from government after discussions on several platforms.
All right, so give me a sense of what this better offer is likely to look like from a percentage perspective. You made the comparison with some of those in the SOEs around that 5%. You've also said at the beginning of our interview that the cash gratuity could be something that would seal the deal. Just give us, just a final and a crisper definition of what you're likely to land on as an acceptable offer from a percentage perspective.
Well, let me tell you, if they can come and take away or provide protection clause that the cash gratuity will continue over and up until such a time that there's a new agreement for 2023-2024 in place, we might have to consider that offer because remember, it's 3% plus the cash gratuity if you equate it into percentage. Plus, then the pay progression, which equate to 1.5%, might take us to an acceptable offer that we will be able to sell to our members. But at this stage, with the cash gratuity that will cease on the 31st of March 2023, we find it very difficult to convince our members even to consider that if there's no a better offer.
You know, just to share with our viewers then exactly who we're talking about in terms of who you represent and the various sectors affected by this, do share that with us so that people understand exactly what the implications are likely to be should we end up in a full-blown strike scenario.
Can you just repeat? I didn't hear you.
In other words, who do you represent? Exactly which sectors will be affected by a continued rejection of the offer on the table? And if, a full-blown strike actually happens?
Well, we must remember that it's the entire public service. We do, however, recognize that we do have essential service within the entire public service. And it will be not wise for us to even consider taking our essential services people on strike. But if the impact will be huge, because we're talking about home affairs, we're talking about transport, we're talking about the entrance on the border posts and the import and outport. So there's quite a huge impact that it might have. We are representing currently 235,000 employees in government. And I can assure you, it will not only be us that is rejecting the offer, it might be the entire labor that were rejecting the offer, which might cause quite some disturbance and havoc in the entire public service environment.
Yeah, that's an impressive, number of people who sit under the marquee in the public service. And so, the consequences of strike action are likely to be widespread and potentially cataclysmic. Thank you very much for talking to us. Jannie Oosthuizen is the chief negotiator at the PSA.